Okay, we're about ready to start our adventure. We are here at the Malpensa X Airport in our little Avis rent-a-car, a little Mitsubishi. There's John in there. Look at that. I'm gonna get a picture of him. All right, and we are ready to roll. Okay, so we are continuing our drive on the first day. We're headed toward, right now, La Spezia, which is a port on the coast. And I never realized, stupid me, we're in Tuscany. I never realized, I suppose, because I haven't been in this area of Tuscany before. I didn't realize exactly how mountainous it was around here. I mean, I knew it was mountainous around Livorno. But look at these beautiful crags up there. I'm going to get a little zoom in action on those crags. There they are. Look at that. Who knew? Who knew except a billion Italians that have lived and knew that I didn't know. That's why I like traveling. I learn new stuff. Bro, are you having a good time?
Molto bene.
Okay, so we're starting day 2 of our trip. This is the Napoleon Hotel on the outskirts of Lucca, and we're gonna go down that way to the city. Okay, so these are the famous walls of Lucca, some of the best preserved military walls anywhere in Europe. The present walls are 16th century, but these walls originally go back to Roman times. They've been rebuilt and rebuilt and rebuilt and rebuilt and rebuilt. And look here, here's Mr. Lucchese himself, the mayor of Lucca. How about that? Andiamo! Alright, so this is the entrance into the wall, through the wall. We were looking at a bastion before. And there we have La Bella Città di Lucca. So here we are at the Piazza San Michele in Lucca. And there's St. Michael up there on the top, looking down on his city. Bishop Paprocki would like that. Jan and I visited this church many years ago. Check out those columns up there. Look at those.
San Michael?
Yeah. And you can see the statue of St. Michael up at the top.
Yeah.
Waiting for Bishop Paprocki to come by.
There's no H in that, is there?
Okay, I thought I'd get some close-ups of these fabulous columns on this church. Look at those, aren't they cool? Fabulous. And then on top of it all is St. Michael. St. Michael the Archangel. There he is. So this beautiful church dates to 1070 through the 14th century. And it is just a riot. Look at this. Above those columns are pictures of various fantastic animals. Gorgeous. Jan and I visited this place 10 years ago, but I didn't have a video camera then. John's inside doing his Lucca thing. I'm going to join him. So this is the church of St. Michael on the inside. This is the main church of this town for many years. It's beautiful inside. It's not overdone with all kinds of Baroque stuff. A little bit of Baroque stuff. But fundamentally, under the main altar lies the remains of a saint. So in this church there's a nice little Della Robbia of mother and child. So this again is the Church of St. Michael. There's all kinds of statues of St. Michael's in here in addition to that Della Robbia. But check this out. This is the St. Michael prayer that ever since Bishop Peprocki came into Springfield, this is so said, at every Catholic Mass. So the top is in Italian and the bottom is in Latin. And there he is. Now this is a beautiful painting of St. Helena finding the true cross in Jerusalem. Let's find out who the artist is. Well, it appears this was put up in 1587 on the 30th of September. It's St. Rocco, Sebastian, Hieronymus, and Helen. Jerome. Hieronymus is Jerome, by Filippino Lippi II. I mean, look at her. That is so gorgeous. We have lots of nude girls in the U.S., believe me.
Lots of them.
Lots of them.
What? Illinois.
So real quick, this is the Church of the Savior. And you can look at all that ancient brickwork. This thing was laid out in the year 1000, but check this out. Here you go, Jan. There's your friend, St. Anthony. I always have to take pictures of St. Anthony for Jan.
Yeah, help me find some whatever I lost.
And over here is Padre Pio. So this is the interior of this little church. Again, we're in Lucca. What I think more interesting than the interior of this church is this bas-relief on the outside. I can't quite tell what it is. Is it the Last Supper or is it the wedding feast at Cana? I'm guessing wedding feast because look, in the center they're carrying these vats of wine. That is really old. I saw that and I said, that looks like it's from about the year 1000. Who knows? We'll find out. Look it up on the internet. And here's the exterior of this church. Oldie but a goodie. Oldie but a goodie. Okay, here's a little street corner. There's a modern Virgin and Child, which is very nice. And you look down, and there's the Torre, I think I'm pronouncing it right, Giunici. We're going to go down there. That's the famous Tower of Lucca. There we go. This is a beautiful street scene for sure. So this is the print shop. John's in there looking at prints of Lucca. And the outside is a marble by a guy named Quercia from 1374 to 1438. So there's John in there, and there's the printmaking guy. So this is spring break, and all these kids are touring their town of Lucca. And there's the tower. It starts with a G, Giungia or something like that. Anyway, it's a big tall thing. We're not going to walk up it, but it's part of a palazzo here. So we walked right by the entrance to this thing, and we're not going to go up it because I'm just not up for the climb right now. And I'll get a nice picture of it anyway. It's so funny, we were going, where is this tower? We thought we were lost, and it turned out we weren't looking up. But here's this palazzo. It's a beautiful palazzo. So that's okay. Real quick, this is the Church of St. Francis, San Francesco, completed in 1430. But obviously, it's been redecorated. As you can tell, those are hardly 1430 statues, and most of the artwork is later. And some of the stained glass is obviously 20th century. There's San Francesco at the fireplace, and there he is helping the leper right there. Okay, so this is the front of San Francesco, and most of this church has been redecorated, but there are some ancient frescoes over there. The stained glass is all new. Here's the death of San Francesco. Here's some of what appears to be the original frescoes up there. And there's a nice rose window on the other end. These other statues appear to be Baroque. Altogether, a very nice church. Obviously a working church, judging from the chairs. Some of the original, or if not original, certainly very old frescoes surrounding this side altar.
Just for a Station of the Cross is amazing.
Well, now those would probably be pottery, made out of pottery molds and painted.
And so not wood.
Yeah, here, tell you what. So, this is the Cathedral of San Frediano, originally founded by an Irish bishop in the 500s. But the current structure was built in the 12th century. And it is fabulous because it hasn't been overdone by being covered by other stuff. If you look at the marble columns, well, some are marble, some are granite. They're decoratively arranged. Look at the size of this monster. It's so big. Like I said, 12th century, or did I say 11th century? Hold on, let's look at the guidebook here. 12th century. And what is really fabulous is this. I mean, the whole thing is fabulous. And you just have to wonder, when you look at those capitals, were those taken from ancient Roman structures of one sort or another? Because I don't think they were doing that kind of work in the 12th century of that quality. But this is amazing. This is a 12th century baptismal font. Look at this thing. I mean, this is Frederick Barbarossa period of time, although Lucca was a free republic, rare in the length of its republican existence. I mean, on one level, these are crude, certainly compared with Michelangelo, people like that. But at the same time, they're very nice. Now, and then look at this. So there's the font. And then they must have had water cascading out the top. I don't know. Almost looks like that might have been true. Hard to say. And there's some beautiful, that it's got to be a Della Robbia up there. Not certain. If not, it's certainly from his school. There's the Della Robbia again. I'm not sure I had good focus on this. I'm not sure my focusing is working right. It's not. Let's see. Gonna have to work on that tonight. We'll go around it again just in case. Look at this. Look at that. It's the shield. The suits of armor. This thing is unbelievable. It's got to be Moses or something presenting the law, but on the other side are period soldiers. Oh, look at that griffin. That's a very cool griffin. But still, my favorite part of this is this. These 12th century knights. I wonder if that's, who knows. And then back over here we are with Moses again. I'm going to try a focus check here. No, I'm not. Okay, so the guidebook says that is of the Robbiana school. In other words, kind of sort of like Della Robbia. But look at this guy. Look at that guy. Wow. Cool. Walking up the aisle of the church. I really like this. And when we go outside, you're going to see a fabulous fresco. Did I say fresco? Fabulous mosaic. Now, I'm going to take this picture for my friend John, who says this reminds him of the old state, not the old state, the current state capital of Illinois, upon which his grandfather, who was from Lucca and was a stonemason, worked. John says, I walk in here and it makes me feel like I'm in the state capital. And by golly, there's some truth in that. There's a lot of truth in that. Except you're not going to see that kind of statue. That's the angels. They probably kept the host in there. So this is the high altar, and San Frediano is buried underneath the altar. Again, some more of these pillars that I just am wondering were those taken from ancient Roman structures, because this was an ancient Roman town. I really like this church. This is nice. It's been kept up. By the way, it cost us €3 to get in. And maybe that's why it's been kept up, because they got the money to keep it up. Now this is an interesting side chapel. I'll just read this to you. Molly Politic of Virgin and Child, 15th century masterpiece. Underneath it, a 2nd century Roman sarcophagus in which is buried an English guy from who died here in 722, St. Richard. And then tombstone of Lorenzo Trenta and his consort. And these people were buried here in the 15th century. Very nice piece. And here's a beautiful 15th century Annunciation. Isn't that nice? That is beautiful. Reminds me of those pictures of Madonna and Son that I just took in Germany. There's an ancient fresco. Look at that. Look at that thing. Wow. That's an oldie but a goodie, the crucifixion. One more shot of this beautiful, beautiful old church. I think if I lived in this town and I were Catholic, this would be my church. This place is spectacular. But in there are the remains of a 12th century saint, Saint Zita. And there she is. This is one thing I don't care about. Italian Catholicism. Zite. These, here you can give a gift to the poor for Saint Zita. I just don't care for those unembalmed bodies lying around in these Italian churches, but that's me. That's the Lutheran in me. So this is a fabulous mosaic from the 13th century. And on the front of this church, that is spectacular. Not as good as the mosaics in Palermo, but pretty good, pretty good.
Here we go.
All right, so this is the tower right next to the church that we were just in. It's very nice. I wonder if the monks went up there to cool off. Okay, so we're about ready to go into the famous, what used to be the Roman amphitheater. And it's been turned into a huge square. And I remember when Jan and I were here 10 years ago, we stopped and had a beer in here. Hell yes. Hell yes.
Sounds good to me.
Sounds good to me, except I gotta go pee pee.
You know, I haven't peed in a long time. What's going on?
I hate to tell you, but the microphone is on.
Well, you can delete that out.
All right, so this is the what used to be the Roman amphitheater. Obviously, over the years, it was converted into a square. This is perhaps the most famous spot in Lucca. All right, we're going to say goodbye to the amphitheater. Hey man, you know what? You really need to get yourself a refrigerator magnet at least while you're here. If nothing else.
Okay.
Go get yourself a refrigerator.
Set off the TF.
Okay, so this is just walking down the streets of Lucca.
And the weather is wonderful. You know, if the sun were out, I might be sweating
Oh yeah.
because it would cook this jacket. And then I'd be like, dude, I need something to drink.
Here's another beautiful little church. Not sure what church it is. So that is the Torre d'Oro. This is not the same tower we were looking at earlier. Different one. And then over here, here's this beautiful little church. It may be a deconsecrated church, I'm not sure. But it was a nice one in the day. And then we're going to continue on down our little walk. Okay, so this is the Piazza San Giovanni, and over there is the main cathedral of San Martino. But right now I'm digging this beautiful little church, and it's bell tower. Alright, so this is the main cathedral of Lucca. This is San Martino, and again, it's just like that other one here has these fabulous columns up there. And this is where the Archbishop lives, I think. And we're going to go in there and hopefully we won't have to pay this time. So again, this is the Cathedral of St. Martin. And these carvings are just spectacular. And they've obviously been restored and cleaned up. Look at this. Just spectacular. And I'm going to move over here. And look, there's the months. January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, and December. Okay, so now we're in the Cathedral of St. Martin, and this is so typical. It's been redecorated and redecorated and redecorated over the years. So it's just a mishmash of styles, and yet somehow it's very nice. And look, for Jan, there is St. Anthony, Jan's hero. All right. So the church was originally consecrated in 1070, but mainly what we're looking at is it was like redone apparently in the 14th and 15th centuries. But clearly those decorations are, well, not so clearly. I don't know how old those are. So these side altars all have paintings. This one, interestingly, is a Last Supper by, let me darken that down a little bit. It's the Last Supper by Tintoretto. And what's really weird is, in this picture is a woman giving suck to a child. Like, what is she doing there? Watching the Last Supper, unless maybe it's an allegory of the church. So this is 1592. Now this is a fabulous resurrection done in 1824 by an artist named Michael Ridolfi. And look at the soldiers. This is great. Wow. Wow. That is, look how three-dimensional that is. That's just amazing. And there's the Savior. That is a real interesting painting. The three-dimensionality of it is amazing. All right, so this beautiful thing is from 1407. It's the monument to, let me get my book here, Hilaria di Coretto by Giacomo della Quercia, carved 1407. Interesting piece. There she is. I wonder if I have her overexposed. Let me, yeah, that might be better. Very well carved for sure. For 1407, my goodness. For any time. And there's her little dog. Okay, so this is the high altar of this place, with a monumental depiction of something or other. There's the Holy Trinity. I can't tell what's going on in the foreground. view toward the rear. There's saints and stuff. Something about this church. It's nice, but it kind of leaves me cold. I like the earlier churches that we looked at with the Saint, what's his name, the bishop, the Irish bishop. And this is nice. It has some fabulous artwork in it, of course. And there's also the miraculous statue of Christ that we haven't seen yet. I'll have to change the battery and then we'll look at that. Actually, it looks like the miraculous Christ is in there. The story on that is that the face of that Christ on the crucifix was carved by angels or something like that. But this is the restoration laboratory. Isn't that interesting? So there's a little video here on how they're doing it. Interesting. I changed my battery. You can see that says the Laboratory for the Restoration of the Holy Face. Okay, so this appears to be a 12th century of St. Martin by an unknown Lombard master. Pretty nice. And with that, we will conclude our tour of St. Martin's Cathedral. Okay, it's not quite farewell because I want to get one last view here of the facade, which is spectacular. It's really a spectacular facade. So that is the martyrdom of St. Martin. And over here is the labyrinth. I'm wondering if that's the Oath of the Money Changers. Not sure. To the right. Okay, I'm going to end up, I'm not sure I got this particular column with this fabulous sculpture. It's fabulous. If you look here, down on the bottom. Okay, so this is the top of the walls. Here we are again. And it's all been converted into a gigantic bike path and walking spot. It's just really beautiful up here. Very nice. And as we're leaving town, we come across the Cappella Musicale San Cecilia. Crazy, it's a little musical chapel. That is nice. Okay, so this is one of the city gates. This is the gate or door of St. Peter. And interestingly, there's a date on there of 1566. And then there's the cool let down the gate. That'll keep the bad guys out. They probably locked people in here at night. And there's a bastion over there. So we are just leaving the city. And there's another bastion. And we're wondering who the guy on the horse is. Maybe we'll find that out on another trip. Again, this is the gate of St. Peter. And it's interesting, this town was a free city for, I don't know, 800,000 years, something like that. So there's a thing that says Libertas. And over here, that's of the Martyrs to Liberty. Here's some more of these magnificent walls. Are actually a bastion. And there's the wall there. And again, St. Peter.